Hello friends, welcome to today's daily devotion. Today we're going to be looking at the letter 1 Corinthians, chapter 15. I'm going to read the first 10 verses. Hear now these words. Now, brothers and sisters, I want to remind you of the gospel I preached to you, which you received and on which you have taken your stand. By this gospel you are saved, if you hold firmly to the word I preached to you. Otherwise, you will have believed in vain. For what I received, I passed on to you as of first importance, that Christ died for our sins according to the Scriptures, that he was buried, that he was raised on the third day according to the Scriptures, and that he appeared to Cephas and then to the 12. After that, he appeared to more than 500 of the brothers and sisters at the same time, most of whom are still living, though some have fallen asleep. Then he appeared to James, then to all the apostles, and last of all, he appeared to me also, as one abnormally born. For I am the least of the apostles, and do not deserve to be called an apostle, because I persecuted the church of God. But by the grace of God, I am what I am, and his grace to me was not without effect. No, I worked harder than all of them. Yet not I, but the grace of God that was within me. My friends, Paul, who used to be Saul, is describing the transforming experience that encountering Jesus had in his life. Last week we looked at that encounter in the book of Acts, and this week we're going to be looking at the impact that has had on him, with the idea being that what Paul experienced, you and I can also experience as well. When Paul says, this is the gospel I preached to you, that Christ died for our sins according to the Scriptures. He was buried and he was raised on the third day according to the Scriptures. And if you will believe this, you will be saved. My friends, this is what we have to do during this season of Easter, is really dig into this idea of Jesus' death and resurrection, that Jesus did something that totally changes how we can engage with God and how we can engage with one another. For it is grace, God's grace, that gives us the ability to experience God's life. You and I, we are dead in our sins, in our inability to experience God, except God chose to reach out to us even in the midst of our death. Now, we are alive physically, but are we alive spiritually? Unless we have received Jesus and allowed him to work in us and through us, then no, we're still spiritually dead. That's why Paul says that he was abnormally born, because he did not trust in Jesus until Jesus went whap, whap, whap on that road to Damascus. So maybe Jesus is needing to do some whap, whap, whapping on you. Maybe he's needing to do some whap, whap, whapping on me. But let's let the grace of God enter into us to change us and make us to be, so that we can say, just like Paul, by the grace of God, I am what I am. And I'll see you tomorrow for another daily devotion.